All right, first I just wanted to, what I'm going to be doing, just a quick video on how to put together your LS1, your third gen LS1 brake conversion here. It's probably trivial to most, but just in order to help some people out that might not have seen the kit or really get how it goes together, I just figured I'd do this real quick. Plus there's a little bit of tech here on how I go about making sure my wheel adapter is on correctly and torqued correctly. And before I get started, I just wanted to thank everyone for all the subscriptions and all the views. It's kind of funny, the last week or two I've just gotten, well, I'm still small potatoes compared to a lot of people on YouTube, but to me it was a lot of subscriptions. So thanks, I appreciate that. It makes me feel like I'm not doing this for nothing. So all right, so what we have here is we have the BigBrakeUpgrade.com LS1 conversion kit. You might have seen my other video. And this is just a off-the-shelf standard LS1, like, you know, I just look up 2002 Firebird or whatever rotor, and I went ahead and did a real quick paint job. I'm kind of regretting it. I mean, the rotor's rust no matter what, and you know, I didn't do the greatest job masking it because I'm impatient. And it's, you know what, if it slows it down a little bit, great. If not, then so be it. I'll get zinc coated rotors or something someday. I don't really care. So anyways, what you do is you slip your rotor on. Now if you're using if you have a wheel that is set up for a third gen, you don't need this next step. But a lot of us run fourth gen wheels, number one, because they fit pretty decent with some adapters, and number two, they're, you know, cheap. They're cheap enough in the size that you need to go over this bigger rotor. I think they're like almost 12 inch, 11 something, 12 inch, and a big caliper. So, you know, we don't have to go buying expensive wheels to clear our brakes. So a lot of people are running adapters, and I got these. These are 1.7 inch. And the reason I went with 1.7 inch, and I've kind of explained this to some other people, is in order to put fourth gen wheels on the front of your third gen with the third gen brakes, original brakes, which is technically this hub here technically was a brake rotor at one time. In order to do that, you need 2-inch spacers. That's kind of like a common thing. What I figured, and what some other people have figured, is now that we're using the LS1 brakes, this rotor hat has a thickness of about 1/4 inch. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty thick. So I figured the less adapter the better, and you know, 1/4 inch off of that 2 inch is 1.75. So here's 1.7 spacers. That's the only reason I did it. A lot of people might not, you know, care about that, and I've heard, I actually got into a little bit of discussion recently, and I've heard that the 2-inch adapters with the LS1 brakes don't really cause any rubbing or any weird problems. So it's kind of up to you. But these are from Sculpey, which doesn't really exist anymore, I don't think. And I really like these. These things are nice. I've had them on, you know, since 2006, and I've never had it loosen up. I've never had any cracks. I mean, I've gone over these things several times. I just got done cleaning this one up, and I see nothing out of the ordinary. So anyways, enough talking. What I do, in order, you'll see in a minute here how I hold this, because I torque these to like 100 foot-pounds. I think it's like 90 something, but I just do 100. It's not a problem. These are better studs than factory. They're longer. What I do is I number my holes, because in a minute you'll see how I gotta keep turning it, and you know, you want to crisscross, and you lose track really quickly of which hole's which. So I just number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I number them in the star pattern, so I don't have to think. I just start with 1 and work my way up. I'm pretty sure that these are, you know, lug centric. I don't think they're hub centric. I thought at one time they were hub centric, but you know, they're close. So I guess technically they're not hub centric. But okay, I have to go get my socket, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just put these on finger tight, and I'll show you how I torque them down. All right, right now I have them just kind of finger tight, and one thing you want to be sure you do when you put these on is you'll notice that I'm using a 3/4 inch, pretty sure, yeah, 3/4 inch impact, and it fits very nicely in that hole. And you'll notice when you first go to put your wheel lugs on, maybe you'll get one or two of them in, and then you'll go to do another one and it'll just feel like it's binding. It's very important that you only put these on like finger tight till they just touch the seat, their bolting seat. And then when you get to that tough hole, just kind of give it a wiggle, and then you'll feel it, you know, to the point where it can go off and on. You don't want to crank it all down and then get to one and then have it be binding and then crank that one down, because now you're centering your adapter while there's pressure on the seats, on the angle, the cone seats. I'm kind of lacking the term there, but anyway, so what I do is I just get them finger tight, and then I just kind of just give them a little snug. It's I'm not making them super tight. I'm just kind of sneaking up on it. Sorry if my knee's in the way. And I've done it this way since I got these, and I sometimes will run a I'll do a run out on this, and I'll check it versus the rotor, which I gotta admit, the Duralast AutoZone rotors, when I do this, usually I don't find hardly any run out on them. And then I'll put it on here and just verify that it's not wobbling. And doing it this way, I never seem to have any problems. So the next thing I do is we're going to torque them down. I never use an air gun for this. I never just blast them down. And I always start with, like, I don't go straight to my final torque. I go to, like, you know, 50 or 60 foot-pounds. I just kind of go somewhere in the middle with this cruddy torque wrench. What's going on with this thing here? Okay, and then the way I do that is I take this breaker bar and I go across 2 or 3 studs. I guess I usually do 2 studs, just like that. And then this is going to be right in your way. Start with number 1, and then you just give it your torque. And then just kind of slide the wrench out. You remember one was here, so go to 2, and when 2 gets there, slide your wrench right in. And this might seem like I said, this might seem rudimentary to some of you guys, but man, I don't want to take a chance with this thing. Like, this is one of those times where I'm taking my time. I could blast it on with my impact and probably not have a problem. But I could blast it on with my impact and have my wheel fly off at 80 miles an hour on the highway with my wife in the car or something. So this is just, to me, worth to do it right. Okay, so there's like my initial torque. By this time we should be nice and centered up with the adapter. And I'm just going to run these up to 100 now. Again, I do 100 and I've never had a problem. There's one. I might cut this out. I don't know, because it's pretty boring, I guess. There's 2. Three. 4. And 5. I guess it's I should note also that I'm pushing this bar back too. It's not messing up the threads. I've never had a thread get screwed up by doing this, but it just, again, one more step to just ensure you don't have any problems. And I'll just do a check. On my check, sometimes I don't do the star pattern because technically should already be tightened, but for consistency's sake, I'll do it this time. And it doesn't really take that much time to do it this way either. I mean, all right, we're all done. Oh, and I'm sure you're noticing the bird crap that's on my rotor. Apparently, when I'm not around, the birds like to go in the garage and crap on all the stuff that I have, and then they fly away. So that's nice, right? So next up is the bracket, and I'm actually gonna take my gloves off so I don't get crap all over it. This is just a factory bracket. I cleaned it up, painted it, got it looking pretty spiffy. Again, that's that cast aluminum paint that I'm always raving about. I mean, it really does make it look like cast aluminum. So next up is the bracket. I think what I'm going to do is, because I need to put, I have new pins and boots for in here. I think I'm going to grease them and put them in, and then I'll start the video back up on how to assemble this. I mean, it's easy, but again, I'll do it anyway. At this point, you're ready to put your caliper bracket on, and you can see this one. I think you can see this one. I already put my new pins in, new boots. It's greased. I put the new shims or glides or slides or whatever the heck you want to call them in. So this puppy's ready to go. Now the big brake upgrade, LS1 upgrade kit comes with this bracket back here that you can't see now, and you essentially just bolt this in like you normally would. Get it started here. Probably notice, I don't know if you can see my head right now, but I've got like a beanie on because it was 33 degrees when I woke up this morning. Very unpleasant. I was actually really bummed because I was looking forward to a nice weather day. Now it's nice out, but man, it's cold. Earlier I didn't get video of it, but maybe I should have. I did my can I turn this? No. Ow. I did the fuel pump access cover, so that's taken care of. I should have got video of it, I guess, but oh well. I basically just took a piece of aluminum, cut it to fit the hole, and used like rivets and some RCV to seal it up. I was gonna do nut certs and get real fancy so that it just like you could unscrew it. When I got back there and looked at all the contours of that floor pan, it was just gonna be a nightmare. So it'll be okay. It's not gonna. There's no fumes coming out of that anyways. If there's fumes coming out of the top of your tank, you've probably got bigger problems, and you know, actually being able to smell it might might save you some trouble down the road. So, but it's fine. It's not. You know, the car's been the hole's been open with the car shut for weeks and weeks now, and there's not even a hint of gasoline in there. So, okay, these bolts, I think the spec is 75 maybe. I think that's what that Haynes book I had says. I'm gonna go to 75, and then I'm probably gonna just give them a little bit more for safety's sake. Oh, and these are red Loctited too. They're all Loctited up and good to go. Give it a little bit more here. There we go. Just to make sure. And then I'm not going to go through how to put brakes on, but you're essentially able to take your 16mm wrench for the flats. That's usually what size that is. Hold on to that, slip your brake pads in here, and then put your caliper on. Then, you know, hook your hose up and get ready to have lots of bleeding fun. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Like I said before, this kit's very nice. Oh, was my knee in the way that whole time? Oh, you sucker. Yeah, my knee was in the way. Oh well. In case you didn't see that. Just bolt it on like you normally would a 4th gen. It works great. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this up, and then I think what I'm going to do is move on to the back brakes, get the back brakes finished up, and then roll under the car, do a wire and hose and leak and bolt check. Then I'm going to figure out how to get weight on these fronts so that I can finish bolting up the sway bar and tightening up the A-arm bolts because they're still loose. I didn't want to crank on them until I had at least some weight on the front end. Although the extra weight of the LQ4 will probably push through any suspension binding I have. So, all right, thanks for watching.